Well, hey there, accounting. This should be a decently familiar screen in front of you. Welcome to MindTap, and welcome to a little bit of instruction for the week. Here's the plan. We are going to tackle Chapter 15. I would like to spend time in accounting in the real world in 15.1 and 15.2 for sure this week. We might keep it right there. I'm still figuring out the best way for us to engage in discussion. I do like our class discussion ability, and when we talk about what the businesses are doing with certain accounts. So that is yet to come. In the meantime, though, we will get to 15.1, and I should have left that just like it was. I would like to today walk you through this and show you what the assignment is going to look like. So welcome to the assignment page, and you see it is just called Week 1. I've got a video I've sent out to all my courses up top. This video that's being recorded will go right here. And then you have a checklist. Read Accounting in the Real World, 15.1, 15.2. So without further ado, let's get to 15.1. Awesome. Planning adjusting entries. Okay, so 2 objectives this time around. Prepare an unadjusted trial balance and adjust supplies and prepaid insurance. So an unadjusted trial balance means basically we closed out the books fine. We don't have to change a thing before this financial period is over. Versus adjusting supplies and prepaid insurance. Obviously, we're making some adjustment. Supplies, pretty easy. That was just a slip up in the books like we've done many times before, and there needs to be a correction. Prepaid insurance, now we're talking about some asset that, was prepaid. There was value put into it before, and we're going to watch it depreciate over the course of its life. For example, this computer that I'm on, right? It would have a certain value, an asset value to our company when it was originally purchased. Now that value denoted in monetary units decreases over time. And we might see it as a computer growing slower or just being older, being around for a while. But what we're effectively tracking in the books here is that, more and more usage, so less usability over time. And we show that by depreciating the value as time goes on. There we go. Okay, so adjusting account balances. I am not planning to read through each of these pages. I tell you what, though, if a majority of you sends feedback to me and says, yes, Mr. Clark, please read the book as you're talking through them, you got it. Otherwise, I will just continue in summary mode, which will bring us right down here. So first, they bring up our old foe, Delgado. I'll read that bit. Some general ledger accounts need to be brought up to date before financial statements are prepared. Adjusting entries are used to do this. In Chapter 6, we did that for Delgado Web Services. 3 Green has 4 accounts that we're going to be looking at. Merchandise inventory, accumulated depreciation, interest receivable, interesting, no pun intended, and federal income tax payable. So we get a little payroll in there, and we get depreciation of things as well as inventory management. And they give us an ethics bit. This one I will read. Kelly Franklin was waiting to board a ski lift when she saw Leslie Best climbing into a limousine. Kelly and Leslie both work as clerks in the production office for DLT Industries. No way can she afford to be driven around in a limo, thought Kelly. Her husband has been out of work for years. Kelly also recalled that the company has been experiencing inventory losses. An internal investigation failed to identify any reason for the shortages. Has Leslie been stealing inventory? She wondered. DLT requires employees to file a report if they believe someone has violated the law or company policy. But feeling that she has little more than her suspicions, Kelly elects not to make a report to the company's ethics officer. So, determine whether Kelly acted ethically by deciding not to report her suspicions. And they give us a resource, a Champion's Code of Conduct of General Mills as a guide. I'd encourage you to look that up. If Kelly came to you for advice, what would you tell her? More on that later. I have an idea, but not this lesson. We'll do it later. Okay, so preparing an unadjusted trial balance. This is almost exactly what we've done before with closing statements, including a trial balance. So there is no adjustment. We just grab what is in the account, put it on this worksheet, and we are good. Really, the only thing look at the 3. Write an account title, we've done that. Enter account balances, that's easy. And total, improve, and rule the columns. Cool, you've done that many, many times. So there's your unadjusted. Now, if we need to make an adjustment, here we have supplies. The example they give is office supplies and store supplies, and of course the company makes that distinction. What do you think constitutes office supplies versus store supplies? Think of like Peterson's. Where's that split? Well, here we have two journal entries, and the first one is just making sure that office supplies ends up as an expense. So we end up debiting the expense account, and then we take it out of the office supplies account. Same thing with store. We've used some up, so it is now an expense. We're going to debit that to show what we've used. Down below, they give you the steps bit by bit. But I did want to go here because I like those T accounts for clarity's sake. This is, I think, a good reminder that even if you have a balance on one side of the account, so look at office supplies, for example, you can put an entry on the opposite side of the account, but retain a balance on that original side. So this was originally a debit. We made a credit transaction, but they both went down and we still have a balance over here on debit. I just looked at my little insert video down here to make sure I did that right with my hands. If I messed up, I'm sorry. Read, please coach me. So there's that. And this remember box is the other thing. Whether you prefer to think of adjusting an asset account, such as supplies, or an expense account, such as supplies expense, the adjusting journal entry is identical. So that's a reminder that these expense accounts are going to be debited in normal operation. And so it doesn't matter which one you're thinking of. If you're trying to remember, oh, does it come out of supplies and it goes into expense, or does it go the other way around? Debit the expense account. Boom. Okay, debt collection. Know your rights. This is a financial literacy post. I'm going to have you read this one. What distinguishes this from the ethics post? I wanted to focus on the other one a little more, but by all means, hope you enjoy that one. And we have just a tiny bit left. So recording and adjusting entry for prepaid insurance. Remember now, this is an asset that we have paid for but have not used. And when we use it, we're going to then watch that value drop, that the asset's value drop, and watch some expense account or some recording account go up. In this case, it is an expense account, insurance expense to be exact. And my gosh, I accidentally clicked it, but there's a much larger view of that for you. So they used, what is that? About $8,200 worth of insurance for whatever. There are some T accounts to show you, and it is just an easy adjusting entry. So we have a thing called prepaid insurance. We're going to use 8,200 of it. So make sure that you debit the, it's the wrong way on the screen. Make sure that you debit, there we go, debit the expense account, and you credit the prepaid to show it moving. And then update that balance right there. I clicked it again, didn't I? Okay. And finally, let's talk through the audit terms. They only give us one term, unadjusted trial balance. What adjusting entry is unique to a corporation? Well, when you're a corporation, you have federal income tax expense. What 4 questions are used to analyze them? This is just your step-by-step, right? What is the balance of the account? What should the balance be? What must be done? And what is done? Just checking yourself down the list. Which accounts are used for the adjustment to office supplies? Can you guess it? Yep, office supplies and supplies expense. Which accounts are used for the adjustment to prepaid insurance then? Hopefully you can get this one. Yeah. Cool. Okay, that's 15.1. I will get this posted straight away. I apologize it took me until this afternoon. Emma, thank you for the emails reminding me and making sure that I didn't put it on the wrong class there. I'm getting this figured out. But hope you enjoyed. Please, folks, give me feedback on this format. If there's something different you'd like me to do in these video lectures, that offer is going to remain open as long as the school remains closed. Well, physically anyway, virtually not, thankfully. Hope you're all well. Stay that way, and I will catch you next time.